So I was waiting for my girlfriend to turn 18.
Okay. This is back in India.
1978.
Okay.
So 1978, February 10th, she turned 18.
Huh.
So by then, I had a whole year and a half.
Okay.
A year and 3 months, really. 2 years, yeah, 75, yeah, all of 76, all of 77. So 2 years, I saved up about 4,000, which is still a lot of money back
Oh
then.
man, yeah, it
A
is.
lot of money.
What was the conversion rate like? Do you remember
Back
how much?
then, it was like 12 bucks, 12
Okay.
rupees,
Okay. Okay.
12 or maybe 15. It was nothing like
So
here.
$4,000 you were making. Then back then
Yeah.
you were easily making around 412. So
Yeah, because see, my dad's salary, my dad retired in 1980. My
hmm.
dad, when he retired, his salary was 2,200 rupees,
Hmm.
which is really nothing, right?
Yeah, no. And you were
I
making good
mean,
money compared to what your dad was
he's a
making, right?
professor.
Yeah,
2,200 he was making.
yeah.
So that was considered a decent salary then.
Hmm.
So anyway, so 1978, I went back and basically got married.
Hmm. Hmm. So tell me your wife, right?
Yes.
Your wife when you got married. What was what was the love story like?
No, there's no love story, man. She was lived like 4 or 5 houses away.
Huh.
Her dad's name was Bukkapatnam Tirumala Venkatachari,
Huh.
physics professor. He was a professor of physics.
He know you?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So Sunita was second child, 3 sisters. The older one was actually later on became principal of women's college in Koti.
Oh, नाम क्या उनका? हाँ, याद है.
Shubha,
सुबह.
Shobha,
शोभा.
Shobha Chari. Actually, she passed away in the U.S. 2 years ago.
Hmm.
And then Sunita and Sarita. Sarita is a orthodontist in Austin,
Oh, okay.
married to Chandrasekhar Reddy.
Okay.
So I sponsored all of them,
Okay.
including the parents, eventually.
Uh-huh.
So they all came in mid 80s, and by that time we had reconciled. It's not that big a deal.
Okay.
My father-in-law is a cool guy. He lived with me 3 years.
Okay.
3 years the first time around. When her mother passed away, then he was a widower, so he lived with me in the 90s for 4 years again. So he was a great grandpa to my kids. My kids learned math and science from him.
Hmm.
So that's really it, guys. So, I obviously had no time for education. I need hustle, make money. So after the dishwasher job, I got a job.
No. Tell me about your love life, right? Shadi. How did you convince your father-in-law and your?
He didn't convince me. He called the cops.
He called the cops on you?
Yeah, he called the cops. He said my daughter ran away.
Did she?
Of course she did.
You eloped with her?
Yeah, well, no, she didn't elope. She just came over to the house.
Okay.
We did a little Muslim nikah, and that was done.
Oh, okay.
And then she called her dad saying, I got married to this boy, and I ain't coming home.
Okay.
So obviously he was very disturbed. Found out where he lived, and then basically called the cops. And then the cops took me to a station, and obviously it's a very tense moment. And the cop basically is told, and that's why I really, really respect and admire my father-in-law. All he said was, tell us that she's not 18. We'll put the boy in jail for running off with a minor. He said, I will not lie. I will not lie. And then, she had her birth certificate too to prove that she was 18. So there's no way. But, back then, Sai, I know the Muslim and Hindu relations were much better back then. As strange as it may seem, I mean, it was a different era. Really, we really got along really well.
As a society?
Hyderabad was a much kinder, nicer place, man. We did get along with Hindus, because I grew up in a predominantly Telugu neighborhood,
Hmm.
90% of our neighbors are all Telugus.
Right.
So you cannot help but become a Telugu.
Right.
So like when they would, we were in about 40, 50 houses, there might have been like 5 or 6 Muslim homes.
Hmm.
And the rest of them were Telugus. And the Hindus were little sneaky fuckers. They were like, they would want to eat chicken, but they were too chicken to cut the chicken. So they would come to our house. So we would slaughter and skin it.
Okay. Okay.
Mamsam chala pasand.
Mom's
Oh, mamsam. Oh, love mamsam.
uh,
So we were very popular, obviously, because meat was cooked daily.
yeah. So your wife, your ex-wife now,
Yeah.
did she eat meat?
No, eventually.
Okay. Okay.
Eventually.
What about your father-in-law when he came over?
No, we were very respectful. I purposely did not cook meat
Okay.
the time he was living with us. I mean, I would eat meat, but we'd go out and eat.
Okay. Okay.
And he would come with us and he would eat veggies or whatever. But to that extent, I mean, at least that's the least I owed to him. And he was a hardcore Brahmin and he had his beliefs and he didn't really care what I believed in either. So it was really, I don't ever remember telling my wife she needed to become a Muslim. Even my father didn't give a damn.
Okay. Okay.
Even my father didn't give a damn.
Okay.
No, we're very liberal people.
Right.
There's some member in the family. I said, what are you going to name your children? What we'll name a Muslim name. What's the big deal?
Right.
So my kids are half Hindus.
Right.
They go to their mother's house and do Hindu stuff. They come to our house and do our stuff.